Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. Today we are going to be talking about 5 habits that I do pretty much every single day to really embody my higher self. And these habits that I'm going to share with you are not like getting a certain amount of water in each day or doing a morning routine. These are a little more, I guess, specific. Yeah, they're a little more specific. There may be ones that you haven't thought about doing before. And so I thought I would share it because I'm obsessed with habits. Habits have truly been the thing that changed my life. When I read the book Atomic Habits for the first time, my mind was blown because I was like, oh my gosh, this is why life feels so hard. I have horrible habits. And so when I learned about habits, I changed and transformed my life in such massive ways by doing such small things. And so one thing I'm really, really passionate about, especially if you follow me on TikTok, you may have seen my ego versus higher self videos, is I love just the concept of stepping into your higher self, because we all have the ability to do that each and every day. And there, like, one higher self doesn't fit all, if that makes sense. Like, we all have different versions of our higher self because we're all unique. And so it's just something that feels really good to me. And so these are 5 habits that I do, like I said, pretty much every single day that I use to really embody and step into my higher self. And so feel free to take what works, leave what doesn't, just like with anything in life and anything I say ever. But these are the things that really help me feel like I am that version of myself and that I'm productive, I'm moving towards my goals, and I'm embodying who I really want to be. And so I'm just gonna get straight into it. But if you do find this video interesting, please let me know, because I can talk way more on habits and I can talk way more on the higher self. I really want to be of service. So if there's anything that you're like, I need more information on this, or I would love a video on this, please let me know in the comments, and then send it to a friend also. That would be so lovely if you sent this video to a friend that you think maybe would want to implement some of these habits, and that maybe you guys could hold each other accountable. Okay, without further ado, I've written them out. We're gonna get to the point, short, sweet. I go off on tangents typically, but I'm gonna try to stay right on track. So the first one is something I have been doing for a while now, and it's literally changed my entire life. And I know I say that a lot, but a lot of things have changed my entire life, and this is one of them. And that is doing the hardest task first. I'm pretty sure Brian Tracy, the author, calls it eating the frog. I think that's a book. I've read it before, but I can't remember entirely. So it's basically all about, as soon as you wake up, you just do the hardest thing first. So when I wake up, I always do my morning routine, just because I think it's so important that I pour into myself, that I charge up my battery, that I really fill up my own cup, because with an empty cup, I am useless. I'm useless to anyone. So as soon as I'm done with that morning routine, that's when I'll go into my hardest task first. Now, that used to be the gym for me, because I wanted to be someone who really prioritized health. And now that I have that habit so locked in, like, it's harder to not go to the gym than it is to go, I have moved that later on in my day, because I no longer have to, like, you know, force myself to go and like really encourage myself to go. It's something I enjoy doing. And so now the hardest task first is you watching this video right now. This is the first thing I'm doing this morning because I have the most resistance to it. It's not that I don't want to film this, it's just, I get nervous. Like, I get really nervous, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. Like, I have to set up the camera, I have to figure out what I'm talking about, I have to brush my hair, like I have to get ready. And I know that, like, you know, once my neighbors wake up, there's gonna be noise, and then there's construction outside. And so I am like, I've gotta get this done. This is my hardest task. So hello, you are here for my hardest task. It's a good one, but it is hard for me right now. And I know eventually, as I continue to create these videos, it's not gonna be that hard anymore. And I'm gonna be able to move it down my list and do something else. So figuring out for you, like, what is that thing that I find I lean towards, like, resisting, avoiding, not wanting to do because it feels too hard. I'd rather procrastinate it so I can have that instantaneous relief. That is probably the thing that you need to do first. When you do your hardest task first, you feel this unbelievable confidence. Like, when I'm done with this video, I'm gonna take the biggest sigh and be like, wow, I am amazing. I just did my hardest task. Now everything else that I need to do today, that I get to do today, is gonna be easy. So that is the first habit of my higher self, is that I do the hardest thing first every single morning. Okay, the second one, and maybe you've done this before, maybe you haven't, but I visualize my aura. And so what I do is I really think about like, what energy am I giving off naturally? And then what energy do I want to give off? And this might sound strange if you've never heard of it, but I like to envision that I have like this golden, yellow, white light that like kind of surrounds me and comes from my heart, like comes from me. And then on the very ends, it's like a pinky orange. So it's like this golden, white, beautiful, yellowy light that kind of fades and like transforms into this pink orange. And the reason I've chosen that color is because A, I love those colors, but B, it reminds me of sunshine, it reminds me of warmth, it reminds me of happiness, it reminds me of abundance. And then the pink reminds me of confidence, of femininity. And I really want to embody all of those things. And when I walk into a room, I want people to feel that from me. I want them to feel happier, warmer. I want them to feel my confidence. Like, not like this, like I'm here, everyone look at me confidence, but just like this very subtle confidence that makes people feel comfortable. What I do, like some of the things I do to visualize my aura is I'll literally just sit down in a meditation and I'll visualize the feeling of that color being on my heart and expanding. And it's a practice, it takes practice. My goal is to not even have to visualize it, and I'm just naturally like owning that aura 24/7. So that's one way. Another thing I do is when I'm on my little hot girl walks is I'll visualize that aura around me and coming from me, and I'll visualize as I walk by flowers and trees that they like kind of stand taller or they bloom bigger, and that I'm giving off just this energy of love and positivity, and it's hitting every single person that I walk by and meet. And it's just, yeah, it's just this energy of just love, really, and just love for people and love for the world. And so that is something that my higher self gives off naturally and doesn't even have to try. So that is why it's something that I'm practicing every single day, like especially in moments where I'm maybe feeling like a little more intense than usual, or I'm feeling like a little bit sad or even angry. Like I will recenter and I'll be like, okay, how do I want to feel? What is that? What is that color? And then I'll tap back in. So that's the way I do it. Now you can be any color. You don't have to be a color. You could be a rainbow. You could be anything. But it feels really, really fun to pick a color that means something to you and to represent it. And like, I don't know, when you think of green, like what does that feel like in your body? When you think of blue, what does that feel like in your body? When you think of pink, when you think of yellow, when you think of the rainbow, like it's gonna mean something different to everyone. And so pick a color that makes you feel like you are your higher self, and then focus on meditating on that color and pushing it out and pushing it out. And this might seem a little silly, but I'm just keeping it real. This is what I do every day. Okay, the third one is a game changer, and that is to create over consume. So my higher self spends very, very, very little to no time scrolling and consuming content on social media. That's really so I can stay in my magic, so I can be authentically me. I love finding inspiration. I love supporting other creators and coaches and things like that, but it really takes away from me because I start comparing myself and then my voice gets lost. And so by really implementing the habit of I create before I consume, really I don't consume at all. I'm actually doing like over a 30-day no scrolling challenge right now, and I just completed one, so I'm doing a new one. It's a game changer. Like I feel like I'm in my power, I'm in my magic, I'm not comparing myself. And my higher self, I know she just doesn't have time to consume as much. She is too busy spreading love, spreading her message, like really just creating so that she can reach as many women as possible. So that is my higher self habit number 3. Okay, number 4 is that as soon as my alarm goes off in the morning, and I have one of those alarms, it's not a Hatch. I actually don't even know. I got it at Anthropologie. I don't know what brand it is, but basically it's just this circle that starts lighting up from red to orange to yellow to white, like the sunrise, and it'll start lighting up maybe 10 minutes before my alarm's starting to go off. And so that light wakes me up. I'm a very light sleeper, so that light will wake me up about 10 minutes before I need to get up. And I just sit there in that like in between dream and wake state, and I will consciously choose to think of my affirmations. So I will think of things like, I'm trying to think of the one I said this morning. The one I said this morning is, I am deserving and worthy of every single thing I want. And I'll just repeat that over and over and over and over again. Or I am deserving of creating and maintaining abundance. And I'll repeat that over and over again while that light starts lighting up. And this has been so helpful because it really seeps into my subconscious mind, because I'm in between those two like wake and sleep states. Okay, and then number 5, and this has been such a game changer for me. Do I say that on everyone? Is I read my vision book. So every morning and every night, to be honest with you though, sometimes I don't read it at night because it just gets so late, but I read it minimum once a day, sometimes 3 times a day, usually I would say 70% of the time, morning and night. And I read through this vision book, and this vision book is basically who my higher self is. It's like all of my goals in one book. It's my vision board. It's my beliefs that I need to own in order to have these goals that I want. It's my affirmations. It's my habit tracker. It is everything compiled into one book of my higher self, of who I need to be in order to have the things I want. And so by consistently every single day reading through that, I'm tapping into her. I'm tapping into my potential. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course it's easy. Of course, these are my beliefs. Of course. And then I remember them throughout the day because I've refreshed in the morning. It's not something I just look at every now and again. I look at it every single day with intention and first thing in the morning. So it's like between that dream and wake state, before I journal, before I meditate, before I do anything, as soon as I get out of that bed, after I've done those affirmations with my light, like lighting up the room, I will read my vision book. And it is just so helpful because it's like the strategy, the masculine energy that my feminine and my intuition can flow through. And so if you are like, what the heck are you talking about? What is a vision book? I've actually created an entire YouTube video all on that. I'll leave it in the description so that if you are curious and want to make your own, build your own, you're able to do that. But that is all. That's 5 habits. If you enjoyed this video and you want more habits that I practice every single day or monthly for my higher self and to tap into her, let me know and I will be happy to create another video on it. But otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Send it to a friend. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video. I am so happy. Oh my gosh, to be doing YouTube. It's so exciting. And now that is my hardest task done. Okay, bye guys. See you in the next one.